Elérkeztünk egy olyan témához, amit a hazai rádiózásban amolyan patópálosan 13-15 évente szoktak frissíteni. Ez a Signal Park, de szó lesz az audio imaging elemek frissítésének fontosságáról is. Tom, a BRANDY JINGLES vezetője hívott meg egy nagyon tanulságos beszélgetésre.
Hello, I'm Tom. I'm a creative director at BRANDY. So I oversee all the creative production we do here. That's both radio imaging, radio and TV commercials, promos, TV branding. I'm a part of that whole creative process.
How many composers do you have, or audio imaging producer in BRANDY?
Here in-house there are 4 producers, but we work with a network of freelance producers. That is a very conscious choice to do so, because we feel it's very important to get the right man for the right job. So if you want to have, let's say, a rock jingle, you want somebody who's really good at guitar to produce a rock jingle. If it needs to sound dance, EDM, whatever, you want the guy who's really into that. So that's why we have a network of people actually all around the world who are really good at what they do and with whom we collaborate frequently to produce our sound.
A BRANDY JINGLES anyagai között figyeltem fel arra, hogy ők fontosnak tartják, hogy ne csak a rádió neve, hanem a szlogen is legyen nagyon jellegzetesen felénekelve. És hogy miért fontos a szlogen énekeltetése is, erről kérdeztem Tomot.
It's a good question. I think, of course, the lyrics we sing, they mostly depend from our clients. Whether they have a good name and slogan, that's up to them. Where we step in is making it sound feel good and making it memorable. And as you say, a strong melody is still like the most direct line you can have into somebody's brain and into somebody's heart. Because as a radio station, what you want is touch the heart of your listeners. You want to convey a feeling, you want to convey emotion. And it's our job to help radio stations achieve that. And most radio stations try to make their listeners feel good, give them energy, make them smile. So that is something that we try to keep in mind when we produce jingles or music from the start, in the composition, in the production, but especially in the vocals. That means that already in the casting of the singers, which singers will you have on the package? The recording sessions, how you coach them in the recording session is very important. And in the end, of course, how you mix them. I think something that a lot of people don't take into proper account is that for the listener, it's all about the vocal. And if the music sucks, but the vocal is memorable and it's catchy, you've got the listener. But if the music's fantastic, but the vocal's crap, the listener will think it's crap.
BRANDY.
Sounds better with you. Q music. Q sounds better with you. Jump on
By the way, amikor én még praktizáltam Magyarországon, mint audio imaging producer, abból kiindulva, hogy egy slágernek a refrényét ugye mindenki felismeri, a power intrókba belecsempésztem a rádió szlogenjét az adott dal refrényének dallamára. Csak érdekességképpen mondom el, hogy ezek nem voltak felénekelve, hanem ez akkor már 12 éves szignálparkot én szavanként feldaraboltam, majd mindet beállítottam szépen hangnemenként, és utána jött a varázslás, hogy ezeket a szavakat szépen az adott dal refrényének dallamára rá kellett igazítani, és még a stílust is ki kellett alakítani.
Wonderful. Katy Perry.
Calvin Harris.
Pharrell Williams here.
Rádió 1.
Csak igazi majd sláger megy.
Ladies and gentlemen, The Weekend.
You're listening to The Weekend.
In your eyes. Csak igazi majd sláger megy.
Rádió 1.
The Weekend. In your eyes.
El ritmo te lleva a mover la cabeza.
Csak
Igazi majd sláger megy. Hey, this is Pink. Rádió 1.
We are searchlights we can see in the dark.
ez a Rádió 1.
Csak igazi majd sláger
Megy.
I got this feeling.
Szóval, ha valaki idehaza varázsol, akkor azt elfogadják, de ezzel szemben sajnos egy fillért nem hajlandóak áldozni, mondjuk énekesekre. Na de most vissza a BRANDY JINGLES stúdiójába, ahol Tom arról is beszél nekünk, hogy miért olyan fontos része ez egy rádiónak.
So if there is any secret, I would say it's right there. Make sure the vocal works. Like there's this really famous mixing engineer, Dave Pensado. I know one of his mottos is always serve the vocal. And I think that is really good advice when it comes to radio production, and not only for jingles.
So this is the reason why I feel this extra mood in the BRANDY jingles. I think it's
I think so, and it makes me very happy that you say that, because that's what we try to achieve.
Nagyon sok rádió sajnos nem használja ki ezt a fantasztikus lehetőséget, miszerint egy nagyon jó dallammal minden nap bevésődne a hallgatók fejébe a brand. De sajnos még a station logókat vagy Sonic ID-kat is félve kezelik a rádiók, pedig azok is nagyon erősítenék tudat alatt, háttérrádiózás közben, hogy éppen melyik állomás szól. Érdekes, hogy a reklám szakmában viszont élnek a Sonic ID előnyeivel. Csak ugye a cégek meg komoly pénzeket fizetnek azért, hogy a reklámjaik meg benne legyenek a rádióban. Íme néhány példa. A rádió kezében pedig bármennyiszer ott a lehetőség, és mégsem használják ki eléggé. Most pedig vissza Tomhoz.
Do you make a power intros for Q Music?
Well, we actually reintroduced power intros in Europe in 2001, I think. But the production as it goes right now is that we do all the arrangements, we do all the recordings, and the post-production happens at Q Music. Part of it in the Netherlands, part of it in Belgium. So it's a kind of cross-collaboration with our team and the teams at Q Music.
When I listened Q Music power intros, the vocal part, the song part is very similar to original artist style, Dua Lipa or Justin Bieber. And so how do you achieve this?
There are 3 stages. First of all, you listen very closely to the song and you look for the melody that's most memorable or that sticks out, which is incorporated in the vocal arrangement, what the singers are going to sing. It's very critical listening to how the original singer is performing. What's the energy? What's the sound? How's the pronunciation? And third part of it is how you mix it. So you try to listen very technically to the original song, reverbs, delays, EQ, compression, what's there, and you try to reverse engineer what's there.
What happened in the USA or what happened in Dua Lipa studio?
Yeah.
I see.
So it's something yeah, in the whole process that's baked in.
Na akkor most hallgassunk meg pár példát, hogy milyen az, amikor egy rádió áldoz arra, hogy a hallgatók azt érezzék, hogy a kedvenc dalaik a rádióhoz kapcsolódik, és nem mondjuk egy konkurens rádióhoz.
Maximum hits.
Like the words of a song, I hear you call.
What do you think about the burnout period of jingles? 1 year, 2 years?
I think there's a big misunderstanding about that. Especially in some countries, we see that radio stations try to redo their imaging every year. I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's much more wise to invest in imaging that's really well thought out, that has distinction and character, but that will help you for 2, maybe 3 years. It can sound crazy, but for a station like Q Music, there are jingles on the air that are now in their 3rd year. That's a leading hit radio station. But why are they still on air? Why are they not dated or burnt? Because they're really thought out from the ground up. They're really well produced. They're unique. And that's also what helps them to give them a very long life. And just like with the start of every season, just change a few things, see what works, what is burned, but it doesn't mean change your complete jingle package every year. I think that is a waste.
What do you think about future of radio jingles?
I think radio jingles have a really bright future. You know, if you have the exact same playlist on Apple Music or Spotify, or you have the same playlist on radio, what makes radio more exciting? It's what happens in between those songs. And imaging is a big part of that, but also, you know, a DJ that adds its own story, his own personal flavor, you know, her own emotion to the whole thing. That's what sets radio apart. And radio has to be personal or local or emotional, but all those things are unique assets. And we help radio do that. So I'm quite sure that there will always be tools needed to get there, to do that.
Brandy.
Towers in the morning. 100.3 WNIC.
BrandyJingles.com.
So let's start here.
Stop Facebook.
All right, so this is our main control room. This is where we do most of the final mixing and mastering of our packages. It's also a really great sounding room, the big speakers. As you see, it's not that many hardware because we're really focused on vocal recording. So we have everything we need to record vocals as good as possible, but no clutter. We did a big renovation of the studio 2 years ago or last year, and we threw out like a lot of old mixing desks and hardware that you don't use anymore.
In Munich, Milan told me the Brandy uses Nuendo.
Yeah.
I'm shocked because everybody use Pro Tools,
Yeah.
or I use Logic. Why do you choose the Nuendo?
I'm shocked that there are no more people using Nuendo. Why? Because, first of all, we do a lot of different things. So we are, of course, a radio imaging company, so we do a lot of jingles, also a lot of post-production for radio, TV. And Nuendo is really good at incorporating a workflow for both audio and video. So it's a great tool for that. Apart from that, I think it is the best workstation out there if you work with a lot of parts of audio in one project. So, for instance, I can have a complete 15-cut jingle package with stems, all in one big project, with every single edit labeled with a name that I can automate. I can do automatic bouncing of everything. If a client says, it's good, but I want 2 dB less limiting, it's 2 clicks, bounce everything again, done. There's so much that you can automate, and if you work with a lot of different parts of audio, I think it's absolutely unbeaten.
I will try.
Functionally, it's the same as Cubase. The code is exactly the same. So if you would consider Nuendo, I would say start with Cubase.
The company is a Steinberg Cubase.
Yeah. But Nuendo has so many nice to have extras for post-production that for us it's indispensable.
Maybe this is your secret.
Don't tell anyone.
Do you have a permission? It's a production guy drink Coca-Cola in the studio.
He has a written consent. There's a lot of white, there's a lot of light. Many studios are dark with a lot of black because you have to be very well isolated. So a lot of studios are just in basements or completely isolated from the world. But we want to have a clear and vivid space. We actually had a discussion with the guy doing the acoustics when we built the studios about these windows, because acoustically that's a really bad idea to have windows right behind your speakers. But afterwards he admitted that the benefit of having natural light and having that contact far outweighs the acoustic downside of having those windows. It's a great place to work, absolutely.
How many studios do you have?
We have 4 studios. So this is our biggest control room, and afterwards I'll show you the other editing rooms and studios upstairs.
Let's go.
But let's go to the sanctuary first. Come on in. This is like the most zen place in Brussels. This is where the magic happens, where we do all our vocal recording, singing, also voiceover recording.
Q sounds better with you.
Can you double that?
Stop! Na itt a lényeg. Láttátok, mi történt? Beléptem egy stúdióba, ahol arról beszélgettünk, hogy itt mondják fel és éneklik a rádió audio tartalmainak legfontosabb elemeit. És mi az, amit csináltam? A legmarkánsabb elemet, a szlogent én is visszaénekeltem.
Q sounds better with you.
Mert ők ezt így használják, és ez az, ami a legjobban megmarad bennem.
So that happens here. Back in the day we said to the acoustics guy, look, this is what we want. The building was completely stripped. And, here's the building, make the very best out of it. And that's what happened, basically. It's a very nice room. It's not completely dead. There's still a little bit of liveliness. But it just sounds great for vocal recording. This mic is very transparent and very open. So it never gets in the way of a voice. I always consider like a voice and a microphone, it's like a marriage. And what works for one voice maybe doesn't work for another voice. The benefit of this mic is that it's very neutral and very transparent, and it doesn't color too much, but it stays very open. So it means like when you in a typical jingle recording, you dub voices a number of times, say 3, 6, 9 vocal stacks on top of each other, you get a much more open sound that stays a lot more airy than what you would have with a Neumann, for instance. I often compare like a Neumann U87. It's a fantastic mic, and it's always a really good mic, but it's seldom the best mic. For what we do, in our room and for our specific purposes, I consider this one to be one of the best.
But Beyerdynamic, the best headphones.
This used to be a big industrial kitchen before we arrived here. And so the first day, when the construction workers arrived, there was this really big tube in the wall. So they started pulling out the tube and demolishing the whole thing. What they didn't know is that at the other side of that wall is an apartment. In that apartment, in that space, there's a bedroom of the woman who was back then the mayor of this town. So you can imagine how happy she was with the studio right next to her bedroom. So there's like a meter of acoustic isolation there to make sure she can sleep properly.
BRANDYJINGLES.com.
This is the smallest of our editing rooms. So we don't do a lot of mixing here because the room is just too small, and the sound is not as good as the other ones. But it's great for all things editing, whatever needs to be done. This is the next room. Can we disturb for
Hi.
minutes? Sure. Hey, this is Jeroen.
Hello.
Jeroen is one of our producers, who's also our creative production manager. So he helps me to oversee all the things that happen here.
I'm producing a lot of stuff, different stuff for radio and television.
And do you use Shaperbox?
Shaperbox, yes, all the time.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Very good tool to
Yes,
do some.
I agree with you.
A voice booth here. This is a small recording studio. We use this one mostly for like voiceover recording. It's a bit smaller, but just as well for vocals, like when there's just one singer to record, for instance, and the studio downstairs is occupied for another project. I've done a lot of vocal sessions here as well. So yeah, and it's, if you close the door, it's also very zen. And then we have this room, which is basically my preferred room because of you have a lot of natural light here. I have my piano. I like to have 88 keys on my right hand. We do a lot of mixing, even mastering here. The setup is very comparable to downstairs. There's less recording hardware. Like I only have 2 channels for recording there. No, 4 actually. But for the rest, the technical setup is basically the same. So it's very easy to switch from studio to studio.
Same speakers, same mic.
Exactly. I'm actually a classically trained pianist.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I have a background in classical music. And afterwards I went in radio. So I worked at 2 radio stations before I joined Brandy.
Bye bye Brandy Jingles! Ennyi volt mára, de hamarosan a Behind the Radio egy külön kiadással fog jelentkezni.